Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing the RX 6700 XT in Red Dead Redemption 2. You guys have been requesting it for a long time, but it's finally here. So, we're running it with the latest AMD drivers as usual, and I'm not manually overclocking it. This is the Sapphire Pulse edition of the card, by the way, and you can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups GPU Z. Resizable bar or AMD SAM is also enabled, and we got 12 gigs of GDDR6 in this card. Over on the left, we're pairing it with a Ryzen 9 7950X3D, which is overkill for a card like this, but I disabled half of the core, so it's not overkill anymore. No, I'm kidding, it's still overkill because it's still kind of like a 7800X3D, you know, but this game is not CPU intensive, and if you have something like a Ryzen 5 5600X instead, it shouldn't bottleneck this card, and you should get around the same FPS. Over on the memory tab, we're using 32GB of DDR5 6000MHz RAM in dual channel, and let's get right into it, shall we? Let's go over the settings first. I'm starting at 1080p resolution, and we're also going to test 1440p, 4K, maybe 8K with resolution scaling, and we're using the maximum settings, well, almost maximum settings. Let's call it ultra manual, okay? Because some of the settings are still not maxed out, like the water physics over here, reflection MSAA could go higher, and the tree tessellation down here. These three settings are very intensive, okay? And actually, I saw like a couple of people saying in my 4080 Super and 4070 Ti Super videos that those GPUs were underperforming. They weren't. It's just that the ultra settings, manual ultra settings that I'm utilizing right here are super intensive. You can see that the 6700 XT with these awesome, beautiful settings is only getting around 60-ish FPS, so it's probably gonna dip down into the 50s. Can you believe that? Oh yes, my friends. It is very intensive like this. Now, I'm also gonna try out the ultra auto settings, okay? And those settings are definitely more adequate. Oh boy, Roach, come on. If you want to play on ultra settings, there's no need to almost max the game out by using these. Still, the 6700 XT is doing a fine job over here, but I usually recommend this card for like 1440p gaming, at least in these older titles, and it does a really good job at that if you don't manually max out everything, basically. Oh boy, Roach, please calm down, boy, calm down. Everything is alright, everything is alright. 59 FPS, 1% lows, still feels really smooth, so it's good to see that you can max the game out if you want to. Now, we're not really seeing Jack once again, guys. Why is Jack always gone in these Red Dead Redemption 2 videos lately? I don't understand. Anyway, I'm just gonna go to Strawberry, which is one of the most intensive areas in the entire game, and we'll see the FPS there, and then I'll drop it down to the ultra auto settings. Hi, Bob, how's it going? Goodbye. Wait. This is not working very well. Goodbye, Bob. There we go. Perfect. Reload. I don't think anybody saw us, right? Let's just holster the weapon as well. Almost forgot about that. I wondered why people kept shooting at me in Strawberry without me doing anything. It turns out it was because I had my gun out. So don't put your gun out in public, guys. Okay, anyways, this is Strawberry right here. 60, yeah, it's dipping down into the 50s, finally. Just as expected. Goodbye, Bob's friend. Yes. Oh, Roach, calm down, boy. Okay, yeah, it's consistently into the 50s around here. This is very intensive, as I told you. So that's why I wouldn't really utilize this if you want to. It's still stable, it doesn't stutter at all, it's still very playable for a single-player game, so you can almost max the game out. But again, the auto ultra settings is where it's at. So if you notice, everything has been set to ultra right here, but if I just touch this and go back to maximum over here on the slider, some things are now set to high, like this one. This is set to medium right here, whereas it was set to ultra previously. And down here, some things also changed, like this is off, this is on medium. You know, a lot of things are not on ultra with the ultra settings. But yeah, this is the ultra preset from the game. I'll apply it, restart, and let's do it again. And as you can see, we gained about like 25 frames per second or so. It's quite a big difference once again. Like we're up into the 80s. It feels much smoother on a high refresh rate panel as well. Obviously 60 FPS is definitely all you need. even like the 50 plus that we were getting, but this looks basically the same, but it's way less intensive. So if you want to play on ultra settings, these are the ultra settings that I would recommend you to utilize with the 6700 XT. I would actually utilize the maximum or close to maximum settings with something like the 4080 Super that I tested last week, or the 4070 Ti Super, but here with this mid-range GPU, it's best to keep it a little bit lower. Again, it also looks very similar, so you're not really losing much. And you know what? I am glad it's getting 80-something FPS, because that means that at 1440p it's also gonna stay above 60 probably, most of the time at least. I'm a little bit lost though. I need to pull up the map over here. Okay, go to Strawberry right there. And finally, Strawberry Town, dipping down into the 70s. So again, like 20 more FPS than what we saw previously. This is really, really good. Let me just go around you, please. Thank you very much. 72 right there. Looking in this direction. 78, 77, 76. It's really nice. Yeah, I mean, there's no complaints here. If you're playing at 1080p resolution, just set it and forget it. So let's stop it there, guys. 84 FPS average. Really good stuff here at 1080p resolution. To be expected as well. 6700 XT is a little beast at the 1080p resolution. And let's bump it up to 1440. 2560 by 1440 using the same settings here. The auto ultra settings. I just keep mentioning it because it's important. You know, I called ultra settings to the settings that we were utilizing with the 4070 Ti Super and 4080 Super, and these are also ultra settings mostly, but it's not the same thing. Let's start counting our FPS, getting 60 to 70 right here, which is quite nice. Near the water, it dropped to what kind of FPS? I don't remember actually. I wasn't noticing. Low 60s. Alright, it's nice to see that, because the water physics are also really intensive in this title, and it's not really dropping from 60 FPS. Also, the visual fidelity, the detail at 1440p compared to 1080p is just insane in this game. I think the textures scale with resolution here, as they do in some other titles as well, and it looks much better at 1440p. 4K even better, guys. Like, it's insane. And someone said that it's because I'm using a 4K monitor, so of course things don't look as sharp at 1080p and stuff, but I have used 1080p monitors to play this game, native 1080p monitors, and it's just lacking a little bit of detail that would be there on a native 1440 or 4K panel. Also, around here, it's not dipping down into the 50s. 1% lows are actually in the high 50s, but I haven't really seen it drop, right? Like over here, it's mid 60s. Maybe over here, it drops a little bit, 62. No, yeah, the 1% lows just dropped to 57 there without the actual FPS dropping to 50. So it's safe to say that it should be 60 plus like 99% of the time. I'm not gonna say that it's getting 60 plus every single time, since it's dropping into the low 60s sometimes. There could be like a couple of areas that are a little bit more intense. Come on! Why are you shooting at me? I don't have my gun right now. Seriously, I did everything right this time. But anyways, if it does dip, it's only into the high 50s, so it's still a really smooth and gorgeous experience here at 1440p. Ooh, ultra settings. And another thing that I found interesting here with the 6700 XT compared to the NVIDIA cards that I've been testing in this game is that the NVIDIA cards, for some reason, they get stuck at 95, 96, and 97% GPU utilization. They never go above it. But here with this one, it's at 100% or 99. So there's that. Now let's bump it up to the 4K resolution, guys. Here we go. 3840 by 2160. Same settings over here. And oh, it's so gorgeous, guys. Oh my gosh. It just brings a tear to my eye every single time I see this game at ultra and 4K resolution. It's just so beautiful. Even the textures look amazing here at 4K resolution. Look at the ground textures. Wow. And on top of that, it still seems to be playable. We're getting 30 plus FPS. Hopefully it's not going to dip down into like the 20s. That would be terrible, of course. But over here inside of a... No. I don't care. What is he doing? Taking pictures of what? Okay, it doesn't matter. Inside of forests, I guess it will dip down into the 30s sometimes. I mean, over here... It's not really dipping. I thought it would because there's a lot of vegetation around us at the moment, but no. It's fine, guys. VRAM utilization is also completely under control, but it's actually going above 8 gigabytes slightly. So an 8 gigabyte GPU, at least from AMD, they do tend to utilize slightly more VRAM than NVIDIA counterparts. What is happening? Hello! It's Jack's cousin, guys! How's it going? What are you trying to eat? I don't know. It's a horse. Come on. Let's go, Roach. It's fine. Yeah, I forgot that Roach gets scared of these guys sometimes. It's still a little bit stuttery. If you notice, the frame time graph has had some little spikes every once in a while. But yeah, it's a little bit more inconsistent. We haven't really seen any of those little spikes at 1440p or 1080p. Maybe this is just a little bit too much for the 6700 XT over here. But I'm not sure about that. It's still a good experience. We got a little stutter once again there. Oh, horse bonding. We are bonding with Roach. Are you kidding me? How? Okay, now we're back to 1080p resolution, guys, using the Hardware Unboxed Optimized settings. Take a look at them. Actually, I highly recommend you to watch their video. They go over every single setting one by one and see the performance and the quality drop-off and so on. And yeah, it's a great watch. These are basically optimized for the best visuals to performance ratio in this game. And will you look at that? It still looks similar to what we've been experiencing so far, right? In terms of graphics fidelity. I mean, it loses a little bit of quality. I can notice it just slightly, but it increases FPS like crazy. Look, like this is now a super high refresh rate experience, actually. 140 FPS. That's insane. Also, the medium TAA looks a little bit rougher as well. I can notice a little bit of noise around Arthur there when I move the camera around, but it's not the end of the world. If you are fancying a high refresh rate experience in Red Dead Redemption 2, if you're one of those people who can't stand 60 FPS or 80 FPS or whatever, well, this is it. It just goes to show you the scalability of this game, right? You can adjust so many settings and make the game perform super well and at the same time look great. We went from like 60 to 70 FPS most of the time at 1080p with close to max settings to double, or actually more than double of that. That's crazy. Now, would I choose these settings at 1080p resolution? No. There's no point of using these. If it was a competitive shooter, sure, I'm all for a high refresh rate experience in those cases. But I mean, the ultra auto settings were definitely beautiful and they provided a great experience already. Really, really smooth one as well, even on a high refresh rate monitor. Now, in Strawberry Town, as you can see, it's getting 130s, dropping down slightly, 120s at the moment, way more intensive once again. But I mean, it's always going to stay above 120 frames per second, basically. Yep, that is insane. Well, it's dipping down right now. Come on, Roach. Let's go. Can we just... Why does he stop? I am pressing W and Shift, and Roach just stops. Oh, boy. Come on, just go. Get out of here, Bob. Ah, you bastards. Bob is always drinking in this game. Yeah, the Bobs in this game are alcoholics. It's flawless, basically, right? Let's stop it right there, though, and let's try it at 1440p. Maybe you aren't comfortable with the 60 to 70 FPS that we were getting previously in fear of dropping a little bit from 60 FPS from time to time. So these are probably adequate settings if that's your case, guys. Look at this. 100 FPS now in Strawberry. So smooth, even at 1440p. It's just that TAA on medium, it doesn't look very good, guys. I can definitely still spot a lot of noise on moving objects with that enabled, but if you set it to high, you're gonna lose like 1 or 2 FPS, doesn't really matter, and that will be gone. It will look just slightly softer though, so that's another trade-off. I wish the game had a better implementation of TAA, you know. It does have MSAA, you can enable that in 2 times, overall of the image, you know, not only the reflection Reflection MSAA. You can also enable some FXAA, but that looks worse than TAA in my opinion. But yeah, if you go the MSAA route, the FPS are just gonna get wrecked, basically. I don't recommend it, so yeah, just set TAA to medium or high, whatever you prefer. I guess this is a little bit sharper than high, once again. And with 100 FPS average and 1% lows in the high 80s, it's just another amazing experience, guys. I mean, again, the scalability of this game, it looks so beautiful, and it runs so well at the same time if you tweak the settings and so on. I just wish newer titles had this kind of optimization. And people were saying that this game was terribly optimized when it came out. Look at it now, guys. With optimized settings, it's definitely not a bad optimized game. If you absolutely crank up the settings to the maximum like I usually do with higher end GPUs, yeah, sure, you can call it an optimized, oh my god. Because it is very hard to run in those cases, but you can definitely make it look pretty and run amazing. Now let's crank it up to 4K resolution, guys. This is it. It is... oh boy, it's right around 60 FPS. All right. Oh, the textures now look pretty good once again. Sorry about the screen tearing. It's very apparent right now because we're close to 60 FPS, and that's because of the capture card as well. Doesn't matter. Now we're getting 50s. Yep, 60. Okay, in Strawberry, it's definitely gonna drop. What did I do? I pressed F. Oh, okay. It starts kicking things. Yeah, kick the air, Arthur. There we go. Good stuff. Single spike there in the frame time graph once again. So whenever you're playing at 4K with this card, it starts getting these weird spikes every once in a while, no matter the settings. It's definitely capable. I don't know why it's doing that, really. It shouldn't be game breaking, and if you lock the FPS, it should smooth those out a little bit as well. But yeah, that's just something weird. Look at this. I'm surprised it's not dropping into the lower 50s. Maybe it's because of the fog now, because it's a little bit foggier. But it's pretty stable, as you can see. It's just that frame time graph, man. Those little spikes, they are annoying me a little bit. I know most people wouldn't even notice them, probably. Like, my girlfriend doesn't, at least. I just have an eye for these things. The stutters annoy the crap out of me. What are you doing? What, Bob? Are you Bob? Come on, Arthur. I'm pressing F for you to kick things. I mean, you like to kick the air and you don't like to kick a person that is facing you and trying to kill you. Why? Okay, wait. You know what? No. Let's use the rope. The rope is great. The rope is great. Go. Wait. Should I just keep it here? Yeah, there we go. Let's go, Roach. Let's go. Yeah, boy. Goodbye, Bob. Yeah, you want something now? He's dead. There we go. Let's release him. All right. So the only thing left to do in this video is probably play at like 8K resolution, right? So let's do it with the Hardware Unboxed settings here. I'll keep the resolution at 4K because AMD's VSR works a little bit differently than NVIDIA's DSR, and it actually doesn't get exactly the same FPS as a native 8K monitor, you know, for example. But the resolution scale does work, and it's very similar to the native stuff at 2x resolution scale. So here we go. 2 times is 8K because it's 2 times the vertical resolution basically, and it still doesn't max out our VRAM, which is interesting. And we're getting 16 frames per second. The detail is just absolutely insane, guys. This is crazy. So, I mean, if you want to take screenshots and stuff, you can still run around, ride Roach around at 8K resolution and take some really crispy screenshots, but obviously nobody should do this. And on low settings, it might actually go up to like 30 FPS, but yeah, what's the point, right? Then it will look like crap. So that's been it for this one, guys. Thanks very much for watching this video. Here in Strawberry, it doesn't seem to drop. Oh, big frame time spike over there, by the way. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.